It is often said that Singapore's biggest threat today is complacency. One kind is associated with hubris and decadence of success. But there's also another that's being too timid, too inhibited, too constrained by tradition and old rules in order to chart bold new directions. Let me give a throwback to kampongs, which in Malay means village. Those of us who lived in kampong before, or spent time in kampongs before, we know that today's HDB estates is a far cry from the kampong of the old days. Kampong living, very easygoing. Everyone knew one another. In my kampong, we drew water from a well. My aunties will always cook a lot. And so long as you are in the kampong, you can go into the kitchen anytime and eat, so long as there's food. There was no strong sense of personal property, and that frustrates my mother a lot. Whenever she bring an umbrella, she leave outside the house. Later, you'll be gone. But you are free to take someone else's. That was the social compact. You compare that with the urban living in HDB today. We live in our own apartments, we cook our own meals, we value our own personal space, and you better not take any items from your neighbor's house. So we are not being literal when we describe our HDB estates as kampongs. We cherish the modern facilities, we enjoy our privacies. In fact, we are constantly working very hard to improve the facilities better. But what we hope to bring back is the spirit of cohesion, the warmth and the care of kampongs. I share this story to make a larger point. We want to leverage our high base of development, seize opportunities, progress further. But at the same time, we are nostalgic for the kampong spirit. We lament certain crafts and certain traits are lost. We worry that old values and ethos may be weakened. In charting Singapore's future, we are a bit like time travelers, navigating between the past, the present, as well as the future. Today, First World Singapore is different because we have a lot to lose. Our first instinct is and should be stewardship. We must avoid recklessness and wastage, never squander what an earlier generation built for us. So there's a Chinese saying that wealth does not pass 3 generations. 富不过三代. The first generation builds, the second generation preserves, the third generation, unfortunately, sometimes squanders it away. When that happens, it is a failure of stewardship. So there are many family businesses that didn't last 3 generations, but there are also many that lasted many generations. For those who lasted, inevitably, there are stewards who made sure no one fight over what was accumulated, and energy is channeled to build capabilities and grow the wealth further. What we lack in natural resources has forced us to focus on building strong institutions and human capital. There is also a risk to focusing only on stewardship. Because for every story of a new generation squandering away their inherited wealth, there's also one of atrophy. Because they were so focused on protecting the past that they could not renew and keep up with the times. It is often said that Singapore's biggest threat today is complacency. But then there are different kinds of complacency. One kind is associated with hubris and decadence of success. But there's also another that's being too timid, too inhibited, too constrained by tradition and old rules in order to chart bold new directions. Professor Ray Huang said it quite well in his classic book. His classic book is on the demise of the Ming Dynasty. It's called 1587, A Year of No Significance. He attributed the downfall of the Ming Dynasty to accumulated weaknesses in the system. Severe societal inhibition is a far more insidious form of complacency. When we see hubris and decadence, at least we know we can recognize it and we know it's wrong. But societal inhibition and timidity, they are dressed up as being loyal to the past, faithful to the ethos and values that led to today's success, and therefore not to be questioned. It is not enough to be a steward, especially in a fast-changing world with intense competition. We also need the courage to be enterprising, building upon what was handed to us, transforming it into something better. A failure to be enterprising to chart a new future is just as damaging as a failure to steward accumulated resources from the past. In the final analysis, understanding how the environment has shifted, exercising judgment to know when to harness the courage and resources to seek a breakthrough, what to preserve, what to change, is one of the biggest challenges of this generation of Singaporeans. Every industry, every aspect of public policy will need to chart new paths ahead because of all these big changes happening around us. Singapore, we are small, we are nimble, which means when the land shifts below us, we are agile and we can quickly find our new footing and reposition ourselves. Gustav Mahler is a prominent composer and conductor of the 19th century. He once said, "Tradition is not the worship of ashes, but the preservation of fire." I believe a combination of a strong sense of stewardship and enterprising courage will usher in Singapore's continued success. And this demands responsibility, prudence, renewal, and courage. Only then can we ensure that the fire of tradition continues to illuminate our paths towards the future. Thank you.